CWD was discovered in Colorado for the first time in research pens in the late 1960s, and in the wild for the first time in the 1980s, and then for the first time on the west slope of Colorado in 2002.
When CWD was first discovered in Wisconsin, the first thought that went through my mind was good luck. Knowing the number of deer hunters that Wisconsin had, the way deer hunting was so ingrained in the culture, the densities of whitetail in those areas, the challenges just seemed as great as the challenges were in the West. It seemed like the challenges in Wisconsin and that part of the country would be much greater.
We've been aware of chronic wasting disease in southeastern Wyoming since the 1970s. Since then, the disease has slowly spread from southeastern Wyoming, a little bit to the west and a little bit to the north, with slowly increasing prevalences in this area. In this area where we're standing right now, probably has had chronic wasting disease for the longest period of time in Wyoming. And it also has the highest prevalence, that is the highest percent of deer that are positive for chronic wasting disease, currently running 40 or 45%. As far as we know, chronic wasting disease currently affects whitetail deer, mule deer, elk, and moose. Whitetail deer and mule deer appear to be more susceptible to the disease than elk or moose.
If CWD is an issue for hunters in southeastern Wyoming, it's an issue for Wyoming. And so our concerns showed up about 15 years ago, but at that time we viewed it as a very localized sort of a thing. As the monitoring efforts went forward, it became less of a localized thing and more of a broad, sweeping sort of a thing.
And I think Wisconsin should be credited for actually being a little bit more proactive than we're probably being, and I think that's something that we'll continue to look at, is whether we should increase the emphasis that we're putting on CWD.